determining for third and fourth place. Both at 0-2 against Canada and Argentina. As Canada secured the 1 seed earlier today, Argentina the second at 2-1. The winner here will be 1-2 with the loser at 0-3. The opening tip between Ubata and Nunez. No, Belize, excuse me, and Belize able to win the tip. Leyla Nunez steps right into a triple, and that one online but just short. Rebound Brazil as they're able to break the press. Right off the gates from the Dominican Republic, Cavalcanti fires a three, and she nets it. Michaela Cavalcanti, 5 points average on this tournament, only shooting 33% from downtown on 4.5 attempts per game, but nails that one, and an early start for Brazil. This should be a competitive game, as Tapayan, wild shot, no. Rebound Ubaka. Sarah Martin's into the lane. Two defenders come at her and cannot finish. At the other way comes the Dominican Republic. Shout out to those of you in the chat. Luis says, hi everybody from Texas. Antonio gives a fist pound for the Dominican Republic. Antonio again says, donde están? Carlos says, Brazil can potentially head to the WNBA as the Dominican Republic, Carmela Nunez, done a great job all tournament, gets to the line again. A few more comments, that is. Shirval says, good morning, everyone. Alif calls a Brazil win. Jessica Morano sends the Dominican Republic flag emoji. Simone sends the Brazilian flag emoji. Issei says, vamos Brazil. As 1 for 2 at the line, but a second attempt off the steal, and we're all knotted up at 3. But I'll continue on. ASAP Anime asking what other games are today. Mark Quinones doing a great job answering that for him. Puerto Rico and Colombia. That is at 5:30 local time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then Mexico and the United States at 8 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Rosivaldo saying go Brazil as they tie the game at 3. Sophia giving the Brazilian flag. Jessica Morano here for it in the chat. Harold asking what time for USA and Mexico. It would be 8 p.m. local, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. And Will makes his prediction. Almost similar game for both the first one, Canada and Argentina, and this one. The one who makes the least mistakes will win, is his prediction. As another stoppage, and Brazil takes over possession again. ASAP Anime asked me, which do you think is the better look? The Larry Bird Daisy Duke shorts or the Fab 5 and 1 pants shorts? Now this is a fantastic question. I think we can definitely find a middle ground between Larry Bird's short shorts and the longer shorts that Michael Jordan really made popular in the NBA. The Fab 5 as well was very fun. Great documentary for Michigan. But I would definitely probably find a middle ground. If I had to choose between the two, I am more on the side of shorter shorts, personally. Appreciate the question. Keep them coming here in the chat. As Laverne Frazier says, watching from Guyana. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but thank you for tuning in. As we've hit 74 likes, Sarah Martin's at the free throw line. Make sure to hop in here, give our stream a like on YouTube, and chime in on the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. As Martin's first free throw off the mark. Martin's also has had a very good tournament. 5'10" small forward. Only 14 years old. Averaging 9 points a game, 5 rebounds in this tournament. Only 30% from the field. Had a great game last time out. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Just struggled with her shot. And this time goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. Lawrence Hufford, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I think we should have a good matchup between these two today. We've seen good moments from each through this tournament. Canada and Argentina just proving to be a little bit better across the entirety of the tournament. As the Dominican Republic turns it over. And Brazil will have it. Sideline inbounds. Arnas, thank you so much for tuning in. Watching from Lithuania. Thank you. Shout out to Arnas. Joe Victor, I hope I'm going to pronounce that as best I can, says go Brazil. We have Elisha saying watching from Bonaire. As a three-pointer falls for Sarah Martins. That is a great look for this Brazilian team. Nisap Anime says, I would feel ridiculous in the Larry Bird shorts. Very fair. That is a good point. Definitely would side with that rather than super long shorts, in my opinion. Lawrence says this would be a good game. I agree. Yeah, Lawrence, we might be in for a fun one. ASAP Anime says the Dominican Republic needs to have number 12 and number 1 on the court at the same time. Interesting take, as that's Karina Tapayan as well as Ariana Mercado, 2 starters for this Dominican Republic team. As Joe Victor, very excited about Sarah Martin's 3 that gives Brazil this early 7-3 lead. As the Dominican Republic doing a good job. Emily Belize getting in the passing lane. Belize at 6'5" is an impressive athlete at 15 years of age. Only averaging 1 point per game though in this tournament. Bid time 3, says Allison. As a jumper is up, no good from Mercado. Mercado had a good start to the tournament, but has really struggled with her shot. Opening game had shot 6 for 24 from the field. That is an astounding number of shots. Went 1 for 7 yesterday in a troublesome game against Canada, but Canada has really taken care of business in all 3 of their matchups so far. ASAP Anime asking who's the tallest on both teams. ASAP Anime, appreciate the questions. Keep them coming. As for Brazil, we're looking down the line here, and it looks like 6'2" Rebecca Soares stands out above the rest for Brazil. And for the Dominican Republic, it is Emily Belize at 6'5". Very impressive. There's a lot of turnovers early, but more so against Brazil. Or excuse me, against the Dominican Republic. Brazil out to an early 10-3 lead halfway through the first quarter. Some more Brazil fans. Justinas says Lithuania supports Brazil as another 3 is up and in. Brazil with some excellent 3-point shooting early, and you can feel the passion. Natalie Sanchez forces a timeout by the Dominican Republic, and it is 13-3 early. Wow. The Dominican Republic going to talk a few things over. Head coach Miguel Reyes discussing with his staff before coming over to the team. Making a quick substitution. As you look at the field goals, 4 for 8 for Brazil, 1 for 10 for the Dominican Republic, which is impressive that they are getting that many shots off. But nonetheless, you're going to need some better shooting now. 1 for 9 rather. On 2-pointers, that is. So they've been going inside quite a bit. Only 1 3-pointer attempted. A very vast difference with Brazil out here. Stretching out the Dominican Republic. Sarah Martins, Nicolai Sanchez knocking down triples. And a 13-3 10-point advantage early. Thanks to 3 for 4 from behind the arc compared to 0 for 1. 1 for 10 from the field for the Dominican Republic, 4 for 8. Turnovers, 2 against Brazil, 5 against the Dominican Republic. Going to have to take better care of the basketball. As Mercado takes it up, down low. I believe that was Nunez off the mark. Up ahead to Ubata, who runs the floor well. You have to love the intensity from an Esther Ubata. As the Dominican Republic now finds themselves down by 12. Carmela Nunez, that shot short. And the rebound bounces over to Sarah Martins, who goes full court up ahead. Blocked on the way up, but a foul is called. Leila Nunez not too happy with that call. But it's going to set up Borges at the free throw line. Sofia Borges, averaging 2.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds in this tournament, just has struggled with her shot. 1 for 8 in this tournament. Nets that free throw. With the second one coming, everything going Brazil's way. Lawrence Hufford giving me players to watch. I love it. Appreciate that. Nunez for the Dominican Republic. You have a couple of options there with the Nunez twins. As Tapayan cannot finish the nice move. Coming out the other way, Cavalcanti up ahead, Martins. One bounce pass, Sanchez right back to Martins, and that's good. Highlight reel transition for Brazil. Sarah Martins. And Brazil up 18-3. Not what I would have expected at all. Starting this game, Carmela Nunez inside for 2. Much needed basket. That's the second score for the Dominican Republic. As they respond with a 3. Michaela Cavalcanti. Holy cow. 21-5. This is shot making I have yet to see from Brazil. And they're doing it all in 6.5 minutes so far. 4 for 5 from downtown. 7 for 11 from the field, including 3 free throws made. Here's Mercado. Wraps around, throws it up, and a foul. 2 shots coming for Ariana Mercado. For my folks in the chat, what needs to be done by the Dominican Republic on defense to slow down Brazil? I mean, the Dominican Republic, we saw this against Canada, where they got started and they were within striking distance, certainly, an 8-point game at some point in the second quarter. They ended up losing that game 90-40. Their zone was just diced up by Canada, who shot 40% from 3-point range, while the Dominican Republic just shot 20%. For Brazil, last time in their loss against Argentina, they only shot 19% from 3-point range. Right now, out 4 for 5. That is quite the start. As it looks like the Dominican Republic still setting up in that zone. And a foul underneath. As Ubata heading to the strike. ASAP Anime saying Brazil, it's like they have really improved over the last 2 games. That is very, very true. Bruna says Cavalcanti, amazing. You gotta love the support. Appreciate you for chiming in. Joel Martinez pointing out Antonio Miranda. As Ubata goes 1 for 2 with the stripe. And a foul on the offensive rebound. We got more free throws coming for Brazil. This has been a dominant start for Brazil. Luis pointing out that Brazil did not have their best performance against Argentina. That's right, they lost that one 70-59, so they were within reach. At certain points, a little bit less close. At certain points, they got it down to 7 or 8. But ultimately, despite winning the rebounding battle, it was, and the turnover battle, they also won that. They just did not shoot well enough from the floor. 30% from the field, sub 50% from the free throw line, and 19% from 3. As they go 1 for 2 again and get the offensive rebound. Bordes makes their own shot, creates it. Ubata, another offensive rebound. That one deflected. And Lucas traces it down. With 4 seconds on the shot clock. Gives it up. Cavalcanti, a deep 3. Back iron, no. And finally, a rebound pulled down by Alana Monte. That was 4 or 5 shots, or chances for points for Brazil. As the Dominican Republic comes down, 1 and done on the offensive end. No one able to get an offensive board as Lucas misfires on a 3. board and backed out. As I believe that's Borges along the baseline. Could not handle the pass. 23-7. Lawrence points out a little bit sloppy from the Dominican Republic so far. Now down low, shot on the way, no. Cavalcanti doing a good job running the point, guarded closely by Tapayan. Gets it ahead to Ubaka. Sanchez over the top. Cavalcanti fires a deep 3, no. board again, Ubaka. Fires up a jumper and it falls. 25-7, Esther Ubaka. We were very complimentary of her performance yesterday, but wow, has it been good so far already. As the Dominican Republic moves the ball around, trying to attack this zone defense and having a lot of trouble, but Ubaka picks up the foul. Heading to the stripe, Mercado, and they rely on Ariana Mercado quite a bit for the Dominican Republic. Few substitutions in. The 5 on the floor for the Dominican Republic. They have out there Ariana Mercado, Alana Monte, Leila Nunez, Emily Belize back out there, and Cariana Tapayan. I think Emily Belize is a smart player to sub back into the ball game, because the Dominican Republic have been giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, 6 of them to Brazil. Brazil, who goes with Sofia Borges, Roberta Soares in at backup center, Nicolai Sanchez, Riza Lutis, and Matela Cavalcanti. The 2 point guards staying out there, and Soares checking in for Ubaka. Ubaka, who picks up her first foul. A drive and tip jumper, and that falls. Malona Monte. Her first 2 points of the game. 25-11, a quick 4-0 run for the Dominican Republic. They try to add to it. They're on the push. Mercado behind the back. Started closely by Sanchez. Now off the screen, attacks the roll. and cannot finish at the rim, but out of bounds, it will stay with the Dominican Republic. As it comes in, shot on the way, and that's good. Alana Monte, back-to-back buckets, and much needed right at the right time for this Dominican Republic side. 3 seconds left, 2, 1, and at the buzzer, no. Brazil, a 25-13 advantage. We'll talk about why that is after this quick break. Shout out to the chat as well. Please keep tuning in and let me know as we hit the break where you are tuning in from in the chat on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening as we've got second quarter after this. Brazil up 25-13.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Welcome back here in the second quarter from Yucatan at the Proliferum Zamna. Second game of the day and final game for Group B in pool play here on day 3. Brazil and the Dominican Republic. Brazil getting out to a hot start, followed by a good end to the first quarter from the Dominican Republic, and they keep it going. Emily Belize and one. Belize started this game, went to the bench, then came back once the Dominican Republic was really struggling with defensive rebounding, and is able to knock down her second basket of the tournament. Or her first basket, rather. Has also knocked down a couple of free throws. As Brazil turns it over, and after a 25-7 advantage, a 9-0 run here from the Dominican Republic, has Brazil all out of whack. Lucas checks out after that turnover, and Sarah Martins checks back in. Half a minute in, and we're down to single digits, 9-point ball game. Lawrenson, that's what the Dominican Republic needs to do, is attack the basket. Oh my goodness, what a three! Banks it in! Ariana Mercado up to 9 points with that triple. Holy cow. And a stop. We're down to a 6-point game. This is more like what I expected. As another three on the way, back iron. No, that would have really made this a ball game. Back the other way comes Brazil, but another look. Mercado off 1 foot, it does not look like she got that off. As I don't know how that will work after the review, but that was in her hand as the buzzer sounded. Three-pointer on the way, and what a response. Michaela Cavalcanti, so good. And Cavalcanti up to 6 points, making 9 points, 3 for 6 shooting from downtown. As the ball flies out of bounds, of course, not your typical broadcast where I will also be checking in with the chat on YouTube. So head over to that YouTube stream by searching FIBA U16 Americas on YouTube, or going to FIBA.basketball/Americas/U16 Women/2023, where you can make sure to like and share and subscribe to the FIBA The Basketball channel on YouTube, or interact with us on Facebook and Instagram at NextGenHoops using the hashtag FIBA U16 Americas. Make sure to follow there and hop into this chat. Have some fun with us, as we've got a lot of people from all around the world tuning in. And another three goes down. Michaela Cavalcanti having her best game of the tournament. Averaging just 5 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists heading in, already up to a dozen. As Brazil forces another miss. Cavalcanti on the run, up ahead. Probably should have gone all the way with it. Instead, relocates for three. Hit the backboard, nearly bent it in, and back the other way comes the Dominican Republic. 31-19, as that three will count as of right now. For Mercado, rather. Nunez has an open look, and she buries it. Three-pointers flying from everywhere in this one. Wow. As Brazil right now, 6 for 12 from downtown. The Dominican Republic, 2 for 6. And we've seen both of them here in the second quarter. Estapayan attacks in. Dakota, I am going to let you know that you are not live. As we'll jump in through the chat, we haven't hopped in since the end of the first quarter. As Luis says, go Brazil. Mestre says, arriba Brazil. Sofia cheering for Brazil. Let's see, where else can we hop in here? Victor watching all the way from Lesotho. Joel Martinez says the Dominican Republic. Or shouts out the Dominican Republic, rather. Dakota Miller says, my favorite short player is Muggsy Bogues. 160 centimeters. I believe 5'2" is Muggsy Bogues. For those of us in America. Run through the legs of the really tall men. That's a funny comment. As the Dominican Republic hits another shot, and we're back down to a 6-point game. Three-pointer on the way. Sanchez putting the iron off the top of the backboard and picks up a steal, but steps out of bounds. Back over to the chat. We can see here. ASAP Anime says, if I'm the Dominican Republic coach, I'm telling Ariana Mercado to put her head down and go to the basket every time. I'm running the pick and roll with her and Karina Tapayan. We've got viewers from Greece chiming in. Where else are we coming from? Muhammad Tamar chiming in with the double rebound. Lawrence saying yes, the Dominican Republic needs to attack the basket like they have been. And we're now in an 8-point game after it just was an 18-point game. There's another jumper, falls. Mercado cooking right now. Halfway through the second quarter. We've got some fans from the Dominican Republic. Joanne says, let's go Dominican Republic. Let's do this, as they pick up another steal. All the way to the rim and fouled by Sanchez. Karina Tapayan playing some good defense. Zach Young says he's cheering for the Dominican Republic. Let's see, where else are we? Madeline Shelton chiming in. Madeline, appreciate you. Making your layover far more entertaining, huh? I'm happy to help with that, as we're having some fun over here with the FIBA U16 America's Championship. Lawrence Hufford saying, and Dakota Miller, 5'3", 5'4" range for Muggsy Bogues. Dakota also asking if I know where Bonaire is. I do not. Buenos Aires of the Caribbean. There we go. Johan says Ariana Mercado is cooking. And yes, she is. That long jumper was a smooth shot. As Madeline Shelton still wants a little bit more from the Dominican Republic. Appreciate you. Lawrence Hufford says the Dominican Republic is catching up now. ASAP Anime says, see, I've been telling you all in the chat all day, the two players I've been talking about, and they have been stepping up. Karina Tapayan and especially Ariana Mercado up to 11 points. Tapayan has those 2 free throws. Got some more love over here from Lawrence Hufford. It's like the Dame versus Argentina. In what way, Lawrence? And whose Dame against Argentina? The Canada-Argentina Dame just earlier today? Or a different one? As driving to the basket, shot on the way. No from Ubata, but a foul underneath. It's going to go against De Freitas, I believe. Antonio saying, great game. Go Cavalcanti, number 2. She has played very well thus far. The point guard matchup is one to watch. Cavalcanti with 12. And just below that, Ariana Mercado with 11. The comment from Dakota asking, who's my number 1 pick in the draft this year as soon as possible? Oh, that's easy. That's Wemby. Victor Wembanyama, no doubt to be the number 1 pick in the draft. And then for the WNBA, that would definitely, I'd go with Caitlin Clark personally. What a tournament she had on the NCAA side. Matt pointing out the difference between the U.S. and Canada versus these other teams' size. You know, and that was the difference for Argentina and Canada. Just a lot stronger and taller was Canada compared to Argentina, and they just dominated the paint. We saw that all game long, and their physicality was also very impressive. Get a comment from Unknown. Will you commentate any Puerto Rico games? I think I am likely to, as Puerto Rico finds themselves right now in 3rd place in Group A, and depending on the result of their game against Colombia up next, that's at 5:30 local time, 7:30 Eastern time, I should be calling the 3rd place team, or the 2nd place team for Group A. So if Puerto Rico wins, I will be on the call for that next game. Thank you for asking. I appreciate the questions. We've got Lawrence saying Argentina versus the Dominican Republic. Okay, so your comment, it's like the game Argentina against the Dominican Republic in that game. I'm trying to remember exactly. Yes, Argentina did get out to a very hot start. The Dominican Republic slowly but surely came back. It finished up as a 10-point game, but it wasn't exactly that. We see that like 10-point game at the end, but it was in large part free throws. The Dominican Republic were very much competing with Brazil and inching closer as that game went along, and we've seen that so far against Brazil as they lead 38-28, under 3 minutes to go. Denver asking what happened to Brazil. And so what happened was Ubata went out after Brazil had just been dominating the offensive glass. They had about 6 offensive rebounds to start things off. Right now they're only at 7, but they had 6 in the first 7 to 9 minutes where Ubata was just dominating. They pulled her out after a foul and starting to hit some shots. Checking into the game was Alana Monte, hit some shots, and then, I mean, it has really been the Ariana Mercado show, up to 11 points, along with Alana Monte with 6. And they got back into this game with some good defense as well. But it's for Brazil, it has been all Michaela Cavalcanti. As Madeline Shelton said, Brazil keeping that gap from closing. Love to see it. Seems to be cheering for the Brazil side. Madeline Shelton saying the Dominican Republic needs to pick it up, though. Appreciate the comment. Unknown said Puerto Rico versus Colombia. Yes, that is coming up next. That is a game to decide who will be second in bracket A or who will be third before the Mexico United States game coming up last tonight. Let's see. Chad pointing out that the loser plays the United States at the quarterfinals. That is true. The loser of this game will be last place in Group B and will play the U.S. to start things out in the quarterfinals on Saturday. Making this game oh so important as the Dominican Republic down 9, led by Mercado, Monte and Nunez, as you see there. They call a timeout to try to sort things out here with 2:25 to go in the first half. Oh, I love the question from Matt. Do I get to explore the cities I announced from? Or if it's mostly work? And Matt, I appreciate that question. Most of the time, yes, I do get to at least go through it a little bit. But for the most part, it's work. Here for the FIBA tournament, it's actually almost entirely, this is my only view of Yucatan, Mexico, is the stadium, because I am working remotely on this broadcast. I am honored. It is such cool work to do, covering these young women, the future of women's basketball for these countries. And so yeah, it's for the most part all work for me, especially in this instance with FIBA. Let's see, where else are we looking at in the comments as we come out of the break? Brazil attacking the basket, and Sarah Martins goes down hard. Chad looking forward to Colombia and Puerto Rico. I am too. I am interested to see who wins that one. I will be covering the losing team from that game. Unknown agrees that will be a fun game, a physical game moving forward. As we've got fans of Puerto Rico in the chat, Helen. Yeah, Craig does a great job over there. And he'll be covering Group A up until we get to there. But Dara, I'm not sure. I'll try my best, though, once we get to it. Hopefully, Puerto Rico wins, though, in your instance. And unfortunately, I won't get to call their game, at least not Saturday. Let's see, where else are we? Got a shout out from Brian watching from the Philippines. Appreciate you tuning in, Brian. Lawrence Hufford asking where I'm commentating from. I am actually located in Indiana. That's where I am at the time being. I did just graduate from Ball State in Indiana. Ball State University. Let's see, where else? ASAP Anime asking me if I've ever called a game winner with a few seconds left. That's a great question. And you know what? Unknown likes the question as well, I believe, but I have been a part of a broadcast crew on ESPN that was calling a game. I think I was the sideline reporter for this game. Yes, I was. And it was actually a Ball State men's basketball game. It was actually the one game I've gotten to call. I've broadcasted for ESPN, for ESPN3, been on the sidelines, been play-by-play. I've done ESPN radio as well, but I was doing this game on the sideline, and Myron Thomas for Ball State, a couple of years ago, I was preparing to ask questions for the other team, and Thomas nails this jumper at the buzzer, and an unreal moment. It was really fun. Yes, Lawrence, pointing out the Cardinals, the Ball State Cardinals, indeed. Arte shouting out Baho Tabudin. As we get back into gameplay, appreciate all the comments from everyone, of course. We appreciate you watching, wherever you are, but please tune into the YouTube stream. Get involved in our chat. We're going to have some fun in there. Already having some fun with some questions. Appreciate everyone who has submitted a chat or even asked a question. It's a lot of fun as we're enjoying this Brazil-Dominican Republic game. Brazil still holding out on top, as Madeline Shelton has pointed out, but the Dominican Republic fighting back in this one. But again, head over to YouTube, search FIBA U16 Americas, or go to FIBA.basketball/Americas/U16 Women/2023. We can make sure to like and share and interact, or go to Facebook and Instagram at NextGenHoops using the hashtag FIBA U16 Americas. Make sure to follow there and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FIBA, the basketball channel. 2 free throws go down for Bordes. Lawrence Hufford, yes, Bonzi Wells, all-timer for Ball State. As we got Michael Lewis back. I love the Ball State chatter. Let's see here. ASAP Anime. Was Ball State's football team good? This past year, yes, very good. We've actually been to 2 bowl games in the last couple of seasons, which is very good. Yes, Dakota Miller pointing out David Letterman was at Ball State. That's where a lot of my classes were, over at the Letterman building. Dakota asking if he played any ball games at Ball State. Nope, he was just what he likes to point out, a C student at Ball State. And one of our best, one of our very best. Let's see, where else? Dakota Miller, ooh, more into motorsports. Yes, he is. It's Ray Hall Letterman Racing with IndyCar. Good shout there, Dakota. Appreciate you chiming in. But yeah, loving the Ball State chatter as we get to the last minute here. Brazil and the Dominican Republic. As the Dominican Republic fighting to get back into it, turns it over yet again. Turnover number 10 on the DR. And that's going to lead to a timeout. We'll jump through some stats here. Unless the chat has any questions, please chime in, let me know. Any questions, anything you want to know? My question for you, who's your favorite teams out there? ASAP Anime with a good question regarding Ball State, that is. Who's Ball State's biggest rival? And that's a tough one because it definitely varies sport to sport. But we have some MAC foes that we can be not too fond of from time to time. Let's see here. I know Buffalo is a brutal one for us. Miami of Ohio as well. Let's see here. Toledo. there are a few here and there, but so some good matching going on in the Mid-American Conference. Ball State has some rivals there. Midell says, hello, Earthlings. Chad asking what everyone is going to watch, USA and Mexico in football, or this FIBA U16 women's game. Hugh Miller pointing out Miami of Ohio. Yes, indeed, that was one of our biggest rivals for sure. Dakota saying we should get into the Big Ten. We, being Ball State, should get into the Big Ten. Big Ten has been expanding. You know, UCLA out there. Get some more Midwestern teams. Eastern Michigan, yes. Lawrence stood tall there. And Bowling Green, yes. How could I forget about Bowling Green? Miami of Ohio, quite a name, indeed. I appreciate all of you in the chat as the three-pointer on the way and off the mark. And out of bounds, heading the way of the Dominican Republic. No, Miami of Ohio for sure was a big time of Ball State. Dakota Miller. that is pretty funny. The Dominican Republic is playing Brazil, and the chat is all about a medium-sized college, university rather, in the Midwest in Indiana. As fouled on a three-point shot and heading to the line. I believe that's Carmela Nunez. Carmela Nunez has done a fantastic job all tournament long of getting to the foul stripe. And will get there once again. Averaging 10 points a game in the tournament, 5.5 boards. Shooting 43% from the field. Last time out, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. And 9 points. Knocks down the free throw. Much needed points for this Dominican Republic team. Dakota says the ball game is in a good state in Indiana. Hey, Ball State men's and women's basketball on the way up this past year. Each of them with 20 wins. We're up there for the most combined wins of any D1 team. As the jumper, no. And back the other way. Oh, a poke. And nearly a score Capeon. Fouled on the follow-up. With 0.3 on the clock. Karina Capeon getting to the line. Having some fun over here in the chat. Let's see here. As we run through it. Word on the street is that I was sent to the dean's office at Ball State, huh? Maybe so. Maybe so. No, I'm no David Letterman. That's for sure. As the second quarter comes to a close. I appreciate so much of the questions here. Lawrence, we'll touch on this one real fast as we jump through some stats, and then we will head to break. As what we think the Dominican Republic can do in the second half as they find themselves trailing by 12. Let's just run through some of the stats for the Dominican Republic as they are shooting 20% from three-point range, which is about on par with where they have been throughout this tournament. That's where they shot last game. Field goal percentage, 20.5% from the field. Not very good, as they are winning the rebounding category, 35-28, but fewer offensive rebounds, that is. Let's see here. Assists. So, honestly, when it comes down to it for the Dominican Republic on offense, I would say fewer turnovers. They find themselves at 10 right now. Very similar to, actually exactly the same as where Brazil's at. But they've got to get it more into the scorer's hands. And Alana Monte, you just saw hitting that basket. Where we saw Mercado running off pick and rolls, I think is really effective. I think getting Emily Belize out there was very positive for this group. And then finding the Nunez twins for more jumpers in the corners, as well as maybe getting them inside. But offensively, they are going to need a little bit more. and that's Didin Mercado. They have to fight for the good shots, in my opinion. They can't just settle for tough outside shots. They've got to get inside and pick out 2 better shots. Defensively, getting out to shooters a little bit better. This is where we saw them struggle against Canada last time out. When they stopped getting out to shooters, Canada was starting to knock down a few threes. They shot 40% from 3 last game out. And we're seeing something very similar from Brazil so far, where they're shooting 41%. So we've got a lot to talk about. Here comes second half. We'll take a quick breather, though. I'm Andrew Willett on the call at the half as the score 44-34. Brazil on top over the Dominican Republic with 2 quarters left to decide who finishes in third, who finishes in last place in Group B, heading into the quarterfinals on Saturday.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation? Representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands. It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Hello and welcome back from the Poliferium Zamna in Yucatan, Mexico. As we wrap up Group B, one more half of basketball to be played between Brazil and the Dominican Republic. As this one, a 10-point ball game at the half. Still 2 more games left in pool play. Later on today, Craig will be taking over for those broadcasts. Puerto Rico and Colombia, and Mexico and the United States, as both of these teams head out after the halftime break. It is a wonder that the Dominican Republic is as close as it is to Brazil. A 10-point game. After at one point it was 25-7. Brazil had that large of a lead over the Dominican Republic. Then come down to the at certain points it was a 6-point game. All the way, I believe, 31-25 most recently. Brazil still in control nonetheless, and we are all set for a second half of action as the Dominican Republic needing to figure some things out. Brazil hoping to regain control. The loser of this game likely to play the United States in the quarterfinals. The winner rather, will be pushing to third place and play either Puerto Rico or Colombia. As Brazil finding underneath Sarah Martins for 2. Add to that lead immediately against the Dominican Republic zone. As always, this is kind of a different type of broadcast where I'm going to interact with you in the YouTube chat. So wherever you're watching, thank you for watching. But head over to YouTube and join in on the chat. As you can get there by searching FIBA U16 Americas on YouTube, or going to FIBA.basketball/Americas/U16 Women's/2023. And that's U16 Women in the website. You can see a lot of information there, or the link to the end of this YouTube chat, where you can like, share, and interact, or join us on Facebook and Instagram at NextGenHoops, where you can follow us using the hashtag FIBA U16 Americas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Andrew Willett on the call here for second half as Brazil is up by a dozen. Andrew Willett, you can find me on social media at @TheACWillett, WILLETT22, or at APB Show, a pro basketball show where I cover pro basketball. Happy to be on the call for FIBA as a 3-pointer goes down. What a start for Brazil. Right off the bat. Cavalcanti, another 3, and Cavalcanti is having one heck of a game. 15 points, now 18 after that 3. 6 for 11 from downtown, the only shots she's taken. Cavalcanti shooting the lights out against this Dominican Republic zone, and that is the danger of a zone if you are the Dominican Republic. You play zone, that's going to be a shooter's paradise. You saw that against Canada, shooting 40%. And doing so throughout the entirety of the game against the Dominican Republic. And Brazil so far, a 7-0 start out of the break. Vidal Reyes instructing his team down the court. They're now trailing 51-34. What a focused start for Brazil, coached by Luciana Tomazini. As they did on the push, and one, Sofia Borges. What a start. Chance to make it a 20-point ball game just like that. 2 minutes, 17 seconds in, and it's a 19-point game after it was just 10. Wow. Here at the FIBA U16 Women's Americas Championship. Again, appreciate all of you jumping in on the chat. Lawrence Hufford asking a lot of questions. Dakota Miller. Dakota saying Colombia going to do some damage against Puerto Rico? Question mark. Lawrence asking about the second half for the Dominican Republic. They need a lot more of that. Shots from Mercado as well as offensive rebounds. And they've got to get back defensively. Another basket. Sofia Borges just getting out ahead of the defense for 2 more. Borges up to double figures. 11 points on 3 for 5 and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. to go with 10 boards. That's a double-double for Sofia Borges as the Dominican Republic turns it over. What a start in under 3 minutes. Brazil goes on a 12-0 run. Unreal. Incredibly impressive start for Brazil. It's a 22-point ball game with 7:09. The Dominican Republic forced to take a timeout. And 2 minutes 51 seconds of action here in the second half. Let's run through. Unknown thinks that Colombia and Puerto Rico are going to do some damage to each other. Let's see, where else are we? I'm glad we're all enjoying the game in the chat. It's going to come down to Colombia against Brazil in the quarterfinals, says Zakian. That would be an interesting one. Think Colombia will take down Brazil, or take down Puerto Rico then, in that case, Zach? Let me know what you think. Let's see, where else? Teresina saying Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. I love it. I love it. Dakota Milner says, I guess is not only the classical music. That comes from Austria. Rap also invented there. Interesting conversation at halftime. Dr. Thierry Tembameta says no, sir. As we come back out from the break, Brazil with the basketball and a 22-point lead. 17 minutes left in group play for Group B. Cavalcanti can't make the three. Ubaka there on the follow is fouled. Ubaka had a great game last time out. Good little music discussion there at halftime. How about that? As we swing through. Juan Pablo says non-blowout games are fun to watch. This one has quickly turned into potentially a blowout game. 58-34, a 14-0 start for Brazil. It's almost like they went to the locker room and said they knew they could do better than they did in the first half, and so far they have killed it. Jose Costa says Colombia will win against Puerto Rico and USA will win against Mexico. That's some fun predictions. What's everybody else think with Puerto Rico and Colombia coming next, as well as Mexico and the United States? Send in your predictions. As finally a three-pointer goes down. First points of the second half for the Dominican Republic. As Brazil still holding on to possession. Eugene Harris says hello from Allentown, I believe Pennsylvania. Thank you for tuning in. Dakota Miller says now I'm starting to sing. Bora 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 Brazil. Terrence asked him what's Dominican Republic's record in the tournament. Both of these teams entered today's game at 0-2, having lost to Argentina and Canada, respectively. And the winner will avoid the United States, while the loser will drop to 0-3 and likely have to match up with the United States in the quarterfinals on Saturday. Lawrence says, looks like there's no adjustment for the Dominican Republic. Unfortunately, that seems to be the case at this point. 60-37 after a couple of free throws. Sarah Julie saying, go Ubaka. I love it. A lot of love for Ubaka in the chat yesterday. Sanam saying Dominican number 12, which is Ariana Mercado. Very good player. Had 11 points in the first half. See. Juan Pablo says one can compare both Colombia and Puerto Rico performances against the United States. I believe Colombia will take the W today. Interesting, Juan Pablo. So We saw Puerto Rico fall to the United States by quite a bit, 124-39. But then Colombia only put up 29 points in a 93-29 loss to the U.S. Dr. Timba Meta says Brazil dominating. I was expecting a close name. You and me both, as Brazil continues to knock down their free throws. 62-25, Brazil. Now shooting 18 for 25, 72% from the free throw line. That is far and away better than their 50% average the rest of the tournament. As Tapayan throws a shot in. Gabriel says Brazilian team didn't sleep after losing to the rival. Eugene Harris says, yup. Ooh, Ariana Mercado plays on your high school team. Eugene Harris, thank you so much for commenting. That is a really cool perspective to bring. And Ariana Mercado, playing for New Heights AAU in the U.S., is a very, very good player here for this Dominican Republic team. Luis says, number 12, Ariana Mercado is fast. Terrence asking, what is Mexico and the United States record in the tournament? That is another good question. Mexico 0-2, having lost to Puerto Rico and Colombia before going up against the United States, who is undefeated in the tournament. Now one of two undefeated teams heading into the matchup tonight. Canada won today to improve to 3-0. So the U.S. has a chance to be the second undefeated team and the only undefeated team in Group A with a win tonight. Jose Costa says the four teams that made the FIBA U17 World Cup next year are USA, Canada, Argentina, and Colombia. I love the take over there from Jose. He's feeling high about Colombia, as the USA undefeated 2-0, Canada 3-0, Argentina having lost today to Canada, sits at 2-1 and is the second seed in Group B, and then Colombia has a matchup with Puerto Rico coming up, but they are 1-1. Feeling good about them today. Let's see, where else? Well, appreciate all the questions that everybody is tossing into the chat as we sit here with 4:13 left in the third quarter. A 63-40 advantage for Brazil. They came out and shut the door on the Dominican Republic. 19-6 right now. They are winning the third quarter, adding to what was already a 10-point lead. Inbound, Cavalcanti tries another three. No. Long rebound, Tapayan pulls it out. Again, appreciate you all in the chat. If you are watching, please tune into YouTube. Hop into the YouTube chat. You can find it by searching FIBA U16 Americas in YouTube, or going to FIBA.basketball/Americas/U16women/2023. Make sure to like and subscribe and share it with everyone as you can interact in the chat or on social media. Follow us at NextGenHoops on Facebook or Instagram and use the hashtag FIBA U16 Americas. Thank you guys so much. We've had a lot of fun. Answered a lot of questions at the end of that first half. Had some fun Ball State questions, that is, as I am based in Indiana, and that is my alma mater. But here we are in the FIBA U16 Americas. Brazil has been dominant out of the break. Sarah Martins nearly adds to it, but a 23-point advantage with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. See, we've got a few more ASAP Anime saying, what does the group standings look like right now? Good question for you. You got Canada. We'll start with my group. I am covering Group B, the afternoon games so far, as that pool play wraps up today with this game. But Canada, 3-0. Argentina, 2-1. The winner of this game will get third place, looking like Brazil right now. We'll see if Dominican Republic has anything left to offer. But currently, the Dominican Republic, if they were to lose, would likely be in fourth place and play against the number 1 seed in Group A. As we look at Group A, with 2 games still left to be played over there, The U.S. on top at 2-0 by tiebreaker. Colombia over Puerto Rico, the 2 and the 3 seeds at 1-1. And Mexico at 0-2 is in 4th. Those are the group standings, the 8 teams in the FIBA U16 Women's Americas Championship. Is that Rachel Daladin? If so, I am duly impressed. Let's see here. Run through some more questions. As we look here, Brazil still up by 23 points. Rafael says, let's go Brazil, let's get this win. Terrence, what is my prediction for Mexico against the United States? Well, so far, Terrence, it has been all the United States in this tournament, and Mexico has not had much luck, although they have been in 2 close games, as they fell to Colombia 67-59, and fell to Puerto Rico 78-76, just a 2-point defeat last night, a crushing defeat. But I think it is likely to not be too close, as the United States won by 85 points over Puerto Rico, 124-39, and then had another dominant win yesterday with a 64-point, 93-29 win over Colombia. So still likely to be blowout fashion for the United States, but I can see Mexico hanging around for a little bit as well. Sarah says, oh, Gabriel. Let's see, Dr. Thierry Timbameta chiming in. Appreciate it as well. Lawrence Hufford asking, who is the leading candidate for MVP of the tournament? Well, I would feel very comfortable talking about Group B thus far. Who do you think is the best candidate from each of these teams? We'll just go down the line. Who's the best candidate for MVP over in Group A? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat. And then, Rachel Gallatin, that is unreal. A big supporter of the Winsider Show over here, as I also host a pro basketball show covering the WNBA season this year. You actually came into Ball State, Rachel. I believe it was late in the season. I was a practice player for this year's women's basketball team over at Ball State. Big fan of all the work that you do, and was so excited when I found out that you were here. I didn't recognize your face, but I did toss it over to Madison Surface, who interviewed you at that broadcast. I was doing play-by-play for that broadcast for Ball State. Juan Pablo saying, well, Argentina deserves the 3rd place. I'm not so sure whether Colombia or Brazil will take the 4th and the potential spot for the World Cup. That's right. The 4 teams from the competition, the 4 teams advancing to the semifinal round, will advance to the FIBA U17 World Cup to be held in Turkey in June of 2024. So the 4 semifinalists determined on Saturday will advance to that prestigious spot, as you've got Colombia and Brazil. Argentina lost against Canada today. Gabriel, yes, they did. It was very close through 1 quarter of action, and then Canada seemed to just put on a show. Defensively, they were hounding the basketball, and it led to a lot of offense, and it shut down Argentina, who really did not stand a chance, losing by more than twice their score, 92-45, as Dr. Thierry Timbameta points out. Let's see here. Gabriel says USA will get 1st place. Canada will get 2nd. And he says all the other countries are fighting for 3rd. Interesting prediction there, Gabriel. Might be right, though. Looking right there. Jose Tosta is shouting out Craig, the commentator. It's his birthday tomorrow. A happy birthday to Craig. How about that? Dr. Thierry Timbameta says Argentina likely to get 3rd place in this tournament. That would be very impressive. Gabriel's prediction for United States and Mexico, 134-12. The U.S. picks up the victory, according to Gabriel. Jordao says Brazil will be champions. They have certainly looked good here in this third quarter, as we've got 4.7 seconds left, 64-43. And a shot to end it. Blown dead because of a travel. Let's see. Basket 1, saying Puerto Rico will beat Colombia today and move on. Alright, that would only set them up, though, in the seedings for the second seed over in Group A. As the clock expires and a 64-43 Brazil lead. They just dominate the third quarter. And we're having some fun over in the chat section. 179 likes right now. Let's see if we can't take that up to about 190, 200 likes here before we start the fourth quarter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Having a lot of fun here with Brazil dominating over the Dominican Republic, especially because of that third quarter. But we will take a quick break. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Andrew Willett on the call, and we've got fourth quarter and a lot more in the chat section coming up right after this.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
We are back here for fourth quarter action. Brazil and the Dominican Republic, 64-43, the advantage, as they are dominating down low. As this is the final game for Group B in pool play here on day 3 before we get a break tomorrow. No games tomorrow, but tournament play, the quarterfinals, starts on Saturday with semis and finally the championship action and more on Monday. A fun 7-day tournament with a lot in store. And we thought we had a good one here. A 10-point lead for Brazil at halftime, and they just ballooned it up with a 15-point start and ended up winning that third quarter 20-9 to have this 21-point advantage, as the three-point shooting has been outstanding. 8 3-pointers for Brazil. And, I mean, we're having a lot of fun over there in the comment section as well. I'm Andrew Willett on the call. You can follow me on Twitter at TheACWillett22. Willett, Willett, as well as my Pro Basketball Show podcast, a Pro Basketball Show. You can follow it at APB Show on Twitter and Instagram. Carmelo Nunez bashes home a three. Nice splash from Nunez. A welcome sight for this Dominican Republic team. We'll hop back into the chat as Borges cannot make it underneath. But Jersey Robinson from the U.S. roster, Juan Pablo thinks is a likely MVP candidate over on that side. Rachel Dalladin, again, huge fan over here on my end. Love all the work that you do covering the WNBA. I thought that was super cool that you came to see Brady and the team. It was a very, very good team last year that I was very happy to cover over at Ball State. But I appreciate you very much, and hopefully get to see you at some point in the future where I can actually recognize you, because it was very cool to see you on campus just a year ago. A current alumni now. Let's jump through the comments as well as we get a timeout. 16-point ball game. Can the Dominican Republic make it a game? What do you think? At least get it down to single digits yet again. That would certainly be an accomplishment. Gabriel says Jersey would be a good name for MVP. As always, you can tune in here on YouTube by searching FIBA U16 Americas or going to FIBA.basketball/Americas/U16Women/2023, where you can make sure to like and share and interact in the chat, or join us on Facebook and Instagram by following @NextGenHoops using the hashtag FIBA U16 Americas. Make sure to follow there and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FIBA, the basketball channel. And have some fun here in this chat, as we have a lot to talk about. Jose Costa says the U.S. will get first, Canada second, Argentina third, and Colombia for fourth. Lawrence Hufford says Jersey Robinson plays like Juju Watkins, a favorite for the MVPs thus far. Still a lot of basketball to be played, though. As I said, third day of pool play, determining all the seeding. And then tournament play kicks off on Saturday with so much at stake, including a place in the World Cup and first place in this tournament. As Sarah Martins fires a three, no. Ubata, always fighting for the offensive glass, keeps it alive, and another possession for Brazil. Dr. Thierry Timbameta agrees with that order from Jose Costas. U.S., Canada, Argentina, and Colombia. We've got some compliments for the Dominican Republic as a vacation spot from Lawrence and others. Basket One saying Puerto Rico and Colombia will be an interesting game since both teams are about the same level. We did see a more defensive game against the United States for Colombia, while the U.S. put up whatever they wanted in the first game against Puerto Rico. But high praise for Colombia in this chat. Shane Corpus saying Brazil should shoot the ball and stop wasting clock. Yeah, we got a lot of time. Denver agrees. Got a lot of time. You can see what the reserves can do for all of these teams down the stretch here in a game like this 16-point game. And for a game that's gotten even closer, it at one point was a 25-point game. You can argue that Brazil needs to get back to running their offense like normal. That's a pretty fair argument. We've got Mystery Machine commenting. This is Alexa from Iowa in the United States. So I am over in Indiana. I think you might be asking me if I played organized basketball in high school and college. I did not play in college, but I did play through the end of my high school days at a small town called Monrovia High School. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. Gabriel says, yesterday Puerto Rico won. Neves and Dara were very good during the game. As another turnover for Brazil. So third game of pool play, or third day rather, where we got started. Argentina beating the Dominican Republic 72-62. This was back on Tuesday. Then Canada took down Brazil 69-37. The U.S. over Puerto Rico 124-39. And Colombia over Mexico in the final game on Tuesday night 67-59. Transitioned to yesterday, where Canada continued their dominance 90-40 over the Dominican Republic. Argentina over Brazil 70-59. The U.S. took down Colombia 93-29. And Puerto Rico just narrowly over Mexico 78-76. We now sit in a 14-point game with 5 minutes remaining. Brazil didn't a lot of second shot opportunities as Sanchez thought about a three. Instead, hits it out. Martins, three off the mark. And out of bounds, it goes the way of the Dominican Republic. 14-point ball game, the closest we've seen in a while. Still a decent amount of time left. Lawrence Ufford asked him about Monrovia in California. No, not Monrovia in California. That actually happens more than you'd think, though. Monrovia in Indiana was my high school. I have heard of that Monrovia in California nonetheless. And then we get to today's game, where Canada finished off their stretch run, finishing 3-0 with a 47-point victory, 92-45, doubling and more than doubling Argentina's score in the first game. Here in this one, we're now sitting at a 12-point game with 4.5 left in the final game for Group B in pool play. And then up next, Group A will finish off with Puerto Rico and Colombia, 5:30 local time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and Mexico and the United States at 8 p.m. local time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Back the other way comes Brazil, and they're able to finally get on the board here in the fourth quarter. That is their first points here in the fourth. It was a 9-0 run for the Dominican Republic across 6 minutes before that fast break layup, as they really focused in defensively. But they need to knock down a few more shots. It was a tough deficit to have to come back from as Brazil turns it over. 14-point game. Approaching the end for Group B. The standings in Group B, Canada at 3-0, the 1 seed. Argentina at 2-1, the 2 seed. If Brazil can hang on to win, they would be the 3rd seed at 1-2, and the Dominican Republic would finish at 0-3 in pool play, heading into Saturday's semifinals. The other 4 teams to complete the 8 teams in the FIBA U16 Women's Americas Championship, you've got the USA leading Group A at 2-0. Colombia at 1-1 has a tiebreaker over Puerto Rico 1-1 for 2nd and 3rd place. And Mexico in 4th place at 0-2. Down low, shot up and off the mark. Back the other way comes the Dominican Republic, 12-point game. Chapeon nearly finishes through traffic. That would have been a really nice Euro step and a much-needed basket. Here with under 3 minutes now as Sanchez drives in and draws the foul. 66-54, 2:55 left. Let's see. We've got some fun questions now. As Warwick shouts out Joker Brazil. And another commenter saying Puerto Rico the best team behind the U.S. That is quite the take. We'll see if that holds true as tournament play continues on. We're at 194 lights, everyone. Let's get that up to 200 here as this game closes out. A few more lights. I really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for all the love and all the comments as well. Let's see. Gabriel says the girls need some more experience. seen some three-point shots for no reason. I agree. They've got three-point shots that they do have to be good three-pointers, in my opinion. Abel Ortiz says Puerto Rico says that his country could be even a little bit better. Emery says go Brazil. It's the Herb one. Ask me Bron or MJ. I am a LeBron guy. That's telling on my age a little bit. But LeBron, I believe, at this point. Although it is a great argument. It's a tough one. Let's see here. The comment about Puerto Rico says Aurelia Durantes playing for Seattle this year, the Seattle Storm. Aurelia Durantes, very good player. A very young player in the WNBA, that is. From Puerto Rico. Let's see here. Brian gives a shout out. Brianna watching from the Philippines. Brian Willett. Hey, Padre says MJ. He's an MJ guy over LeBron. As we come down, a 13-point game down the stretch, 67-54. Another timeout taken with 2:15 left here in the fourth quarter. Go ahead and let me know in the chat. Who do you think? Who do you got? LeBron or Michael Jordan? LeBron or MJ? And I guess I'll be quick with it. No, it could go either way. I very much respect those of you who say Michael Jordan. I think LeBron is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, just for the versatility that he can bring to a basketball game. This is someone who, in his prime, to play all 5 positions, both on offense and defense, was one of the best controllers of the game of basketball, as well as a whole lot more. So I think rebounding, passing, defense, defensive versatility rather, are reasons why I would pick LeBron as the best basketball player to ever play, along with a 20-plus year career. Son asked if I'm reading the comments on YouTube. Yes, I am. Thank you for joining me here. Abel Ortiz says hello from Puerto Rico. Another comment for Aurelia Durantes from Puerto Rico, playing in the WNBA. That's awesome. Antonio also shouting out Aurelia Durantes, playing from Puerto Rico in the WNBA. Unknown says Michael Jordan as well. Let's see here. Yeah, hop in on the YouTube. We're having a lot of fun there with 2 minutes left. The Dominican Republic needing all the points that they can get. Camila Nunez goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. Brian also shouts out Alyssa Estarcha, watching from the Philippines. I love it. Rachel Gallatin very much takes the side of Michael Jordan, and it's not even close. I love it. Let's see. A question if I think women's basketball is as good as men's basketball. I think it's a different sport. I think both are incredible. As good as, I think so. I think in some ways you could argue better. In some ways, it's just a different sport. I think both are fantastic, though. A big fan of women's basketball. I recommend to everybody to go tune into the WNBA. And appreciate you all for tuning in right now to some women's hoops, as we are now in a 9-point ball game with 1:21 left. We have seen the Dominican Republic get this back down to a single-digit deficit. Jack says Brazil chilling in the fourth. That is very true. Gabriel says Philippines is tomorrow. As free throw off the mark from Cavalcante. Does the Dominican Republic have a chance here? What can they do coming down the stretch in a 9-point ball game? That's a 3-possession game, but you got to hit a lot of threes for that to be 3 possessions. More shout-outs for Aurelia Durantes from Joel Martinez. Joel. Estapayan drives tits. Carmela Nunez, pump, sidestep, no 3. Alana Monte wasting some clock. Out to an open 3-point shooter. Back to iron, no. Offensive rebound. Put up and in from Alana Monte. Monte, a big part of this comeback. Now down to an 8-point game. A lot of time came off the clock right there, though. As Brazil just wasting some clock, finds Sofia Borges inside for 2. Monte responds, reading through the chat over here. Gabriel, I agree. Women's basketball is as good as men's basketball. A lot to love on both sides. Jat pointing out the struggle from 3 for Columbia. And some more shout-outs from Antonio for Arela Durantes, playing for the Seattle Storm this year. 70-62 with 15.8 seconds remaining. I think you have to give all the shouts in the world to the Dominican Republic for making this a basketball game. They could have very easily walked away when it was a 25-point deficit at one point in the third quarter. I believe it was around 70-35, maybe 75-40. And it was a large deficit right off the bat as well, with Brazil up 25-7 to open this basketball game. They brought it back to within 6 then, fell behind again in the third quarter, and here they are. They brought it back to 8, with Ubata having a second shot at the free throw line. As we did another timeout with 15.8 seconds remaining. Again, thank you to all of you who have tuned in to the YouTube stream and joined in on the chat. We've had a lot of fun talking. I know a lot of friends of mine have hopped in. I know I have a lot of familiar faces who have followed the last 3 days. We've had a lot of fun here for the FIBA U16 Women's Americas Championship, and we are just wrapping up pool play. There is still a lot more basketball to be played. So looking forward to the tournament, as that starts Saturday with the 1 seed from Group A playing the 4th seed from Group B, 2nd seed from Group A playing the 3rd seed from Group B, 1st seed from Group B playing the 4th seed from Group A, and the 2nd seed from Group B playing the 3rd seed from Group A. That all gets determined today. If Brazil can hold on up 9 with 15.8, I'd say it's pretty likely, as we've hit 205 likes, that Brazil is able to claim that 3rd seed in Group B, dropping the Dominican Republic down to the 4th seed, with Group B being locked up Canada, Argentina, Brazil, and the Dominican Republic. Group A still a lot to be figured out, but the U.S. looking in pretty good shape for that 1 seed over in Group A. You got Colombia and Puerto Rico playing just next to determine who is the 2nd and 3rd seeds. And then Mexico at 0-2 playing against the United States later on tonight. As Craig will be taking over the call. Had a lot of fun with these pool group play games. As the 3-pointer off the mark, offensive rebound. Out to Carmela, who fires another 3. Hits backboard. Another offensive rebound, but 3, 2, 1. And out of bounds with 2.1 seconds. 71-62. Again, make sure to find our streams in YouTube by searching FIBA U16 Americas. 2 more today for pool play as the ball game comes to a close, and searching FIBA.basketball/Americas/U16 Women/2023. Make sure to like and share and interact here in the chat or on Facebook and Instagram at NetsGenHoops using the hashtag FIBA U16 Americas, while subscribing to our YouTube channel, FIBA the Basketball Channel. Brazil coming out on top, 71-62, Thank you to everyone in the chat. We had a lot of fun there today, as we will run through some stats and wrap up this broadcast. As from the field, it was Brazil shooting 32% from the field, 23% for the Dominican Republic. From three-point range, 31% for Brazil, 23% for the Dominican Republic. Rebounding, it was actually won by the Dominican Republic, 64-60. Pretty even on steals, 12-12. Turnovers, 22-18. A few more for Brazil, actually, but they also had more assists, 16-10. And ultimately, it was Brazil being led by Michaela Cavalcanti all the way to a win. 19 points, 6 for 16 shooting on 6 three-pointers, 6 for 14 from three-point range, a ridiculous 43% in this one, leading the way. Also 1 for 2 from the free throw line to go with 6 boards and 7 assists and a steal. Michaela Cavalcanti, player of the game without a doubt, played incredible. Sofia Borges was the second leading scorer with 15, 4 for 10 from the field, 7 for 9 from the free throw line to go with 15 rebounds, a 15-15 double-double. So impressive from Sofia Borges to go along with a steal and a block. Also chipping in, Sarah Martins with 14, Esther Ubata with a dozen to go along with 16 rebounds for a double-double. Also mentioning Sarah Martins' double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds. 6 points from Nathalie Sanchez, 2 apiece from Giovanni de Freitas and Ana de Oliveira, and 1 from Roberta Soares. As the Dominican Republic was led by 12 from Karina Capellán, 15 from Ariana Mercado, 12 more from Alana Monte, and 11 from Carmela Nunez. The final here from the last game from Group B's pool play, 71 Brazil to 62 for the Dominican Republic. I'm Andrew Willett. Thank you so much for tuning in here on our FIBA U16 Women's Americas Championship live stream. We've got 2 more games with Perez on the Tall coming up next, as still find that day in Puerto Rico and Colombia, and Mexico in the United States to close things out before tournament play on Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. The final, Brazil 71, the Dominican Republic 62.
you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.